Hello and welcome back to the Beth Effect. Do you want to pull your mic in a bit? Back by popular demand this week, I have Kenna. Remember current events with Kenna?
Which is so fun.
She's
reflecting
back.
all of our trauma.
Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, so good. And Kenna and I have been keeping a list for the last couple months of all the things that have been bothering us just in life in general. And I just decided to show up to her new house tonight and we're going to record this podcast.
Sometimes you just need a vent.
It is so therapeutic to just get it out of your mouth. So this is no takeaway. There's no learning lesson this week. It's just, here's things that have been bothering us.
Yeah.
And
Beth texted me the prompt and I was like, yeah, that's very fitting. That's exactly what I need to talk about.
That's what we need.
Yes.
So we're just going to get into it. And I have 3 different sections and I have an answer and then Ken's going to share what she has. But I'll ask you first.
Okay.
So section 1 is, it's not that deep, but it is.
So this one is, I hate backhanded compliments.
Oh, yeah.
It is just
and
it's so obvious when someone's giving you a backhanded compliment. For instance, it's like today I was talking to my friend Morgan and I was like, I was at Swig. And the girl's like, I love your makeup. Instead of being like, you're cute. And I'm like, thanks. She's like, you have great makeup on. And I'm like, okay, why don't you just say like,
you
you're
look pretty.
Or like, you're cute. Instead of being like, oh, I can see all the makeup on your face. And I was like, thanks.
That's fair.
I literally looked at her and I was like, thank you. And it was funny because I went to another place and the girl was like, you're so cute. And I was like, see, there are people that are willing to be like, you're cute. And then others are like, I love your makeup. I love the fake that's on you that makes you cute.
I love your spray tan.
Yes. I love your spray tan. I love your extensions. And you're just like,
I love your Ozempic body.
Exactly.
You're just like, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And you're like, okay. And you immediately are like, oh, well, thanks.
Because if makeup was done well, you can't tell that someone's wearing it. So I understand what you're saying. To add to that, because that bothers me too. Mm-hmm. When people use the word actually in a compliment. Oh, you actually did a good job.
Yes.
I actually like how you decorated this house. How rude is that?
You're like,
oh, you actually did well here.
I actually hate you.
You're like, oh, you're so surprised.
Yeah, I did something well.
That's the backhanded compliment that I'm like, could you actually not say anything?
Or in our industry specifically, I get a lot of the backhanded compliments. I actually got this comment the other day and I wasn't that offended by it, but I was just taken aback. She was like, you work for Allergan, right? And I was like, yeah. She's like, you can tell you've had work done, but it looks so good.
No.
And I immediately was like, no, I didn't say anything. I just thanks, but I don't have any filler or anything yet. And I just was like, why are you just assuming?
So rude.
I just think stuff like that, or even your age. I can't believe you're still single. How are you still single? You're so great. And you're
you're actually surprisingly normal for being single.
Yes.
It's the things that I just wish that people took a second to edit before they say anything.
Yeah. Just think. So yeah, I would just say backhanded compliments is something that I'm
can you not?
I'm not here for it.
No, I agree with you. One thing, it's not that deep, but it is to me, is when it's just actually being underdressed for any occasion. Coming from the girl who sat here in a hoodie and leggings on your sofa, but particularly work events.
Oh, for sure.
Any type of event, 10 out of 10 times would rather show up overdressed than underdressed. And when people show up underdressed, it might not seem like it's a big deal, but to me, I feel like it's so disrespectful. I don't know why.
Oh, totally.
It might not seem like it's that deep, but it is to me. And then closely followed behind that is bad manners.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we're surrounded by bad manners here in the state of Utah.
It is. I'm flabbergasted. And shockingly, most of it comes from men.
It's true.
Where are all the men? I absolutely love it when you open the door for me.
Yeah.
Please don't be rude.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Do you think it's because you are from Europe and do you find Americans particularly we have just really bad manners?
Yes.
Okay, so do you think you notice
it's a generalization, and I will say there are many, many people with really great manners, but I notice it, and it is like such a trigger for me. Like men who start like their wives are serving up food, and men start eating before their wife has even like sat down. Like they don't open the door. It's like they just weren't taught. It's almost like, and maybe it is this state, but I feel like I'm surrounded by people who view women as there to serve them almost, instead of being the adored side of like a woman, like walking a girl to her car. Like, I just think that was something when I was dating in particular too, that was such a turn off to me, was bad manners. But then if they had good manners, I would forgive so many other poor qualities that they had if they had good manners, because I just think I don't like it. And maybe it was just my upbringing, but it is so hard for me. And then in a work setting, even more, where you're like, we're all on our best behavior here. Wow.
Yeah, no. Chivalry is dead.
But it isn't in some people, and I think that's why it stands out so much when you see it with certain people. You're just like, wow, it is so attractive to me to see a man treat a woman well.
100%.
And for a woman to then also have good manners. Like, having said that, there are a lot of women with poor manners too.
Yeah.
Yelling, pointing, like this, like the behavior. It's just in general, like breeding has nothing to do with wealth. It's just like, can you just please have good manners?
Yeah, no. Totally. I feel like there's so many people. Yeah, we're just like numb to it. You're so right. I don't even like when someone does open the door for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, she just opened the door for me. Or like he just like let me go first. Or he's walking behind me. And it's because like it's not common. So I notice it so much more. I never thought about that.
Yeah, and I feel really bad for my son because he is also the youngest. But I'm always like, Pen, open the door for your sisters. And like, Pen, you're not the first to eat. Wait till your sisters are sat. And like, you know, and they want to help him because he's the baby. So they're like cleaning up his stuff. And I'm like, no. Pen, clean up your own stuff and ask your sisters if they need anything. Like, you have to learn this. And even with Brad's like, he's obviously a gentleman, but there are things that I'm like, Brad, it's really rude when you do this. And he's like, I just had no idea. I'm like, okay, now you do. So that is one. I mean, you have one and I have like a list. My final one here is, it's not that deep, but it is when someone at work sends me an email that they know is going to ruin my day or is very passive aggressive, but they open the email with, I hope this email finds you well. You know what, Karen? It didn't.
You're like, you actually ruined my day.
It didn't find me well. So you starting with that when you then go on to send me the most horrendous email known to man is not it. And I hate it. But I mean,
it's like when people say, can I be honest?
No.
You're like, can I tell you the truth? No. Or you start with, I love her, but anytime you add, I love her, but like, what's
they were really nice, but
she's X, Y, and Z, but she's like really cute.
Oh no. Yeah. No. I mean, it's not that deep, but all of those feel like it is.
No, it is. Totally.
Okay. Next one. It's giving disrespect.
Ugh, this one's so easy because there's just so many things that I'm just such a particular person that I notice things all the time where I'm just like, okay, that's annoying. But like, I hate when people cough. And I don't know if it's like post-COVID.
Like in public?
Yeah, in public. And I'm like, ew, why are you coughing?
What if they cover their mouth?
If they cover their mouth, it's like okay, but I feel like 9 out of 10 times people don't cover their mouths. But it's like, if it's okay if you're like, but if you're like hacking up a lung and you're sitting next to me, I squirm. Like it actually like physically move because I'm like, I don't want to get sick.
I haven't thought about that, but honestly, I have had times where I've had to cough and I almost choked and died because I refused to do it in public until I got to, and I was like, like trying so hard to get into private so I could really cough the way I wanted to, and I almost died. I feel like I almost died in the process, but I was like, I would rather die than do this in front of people.
No, it's like there's something about it, like you're on an airplane and the person behind you coughing and you're like, great, I'm going to get sick. We have 3 hours to go. Like, and this person's literally coughing on my back. Or like, this is such a weird one, but I hate when people, this is so unique, but when people blow their nose around me. And in fact, I actually was sick a couple weeks ago and I was like, oh, I need to blow my nose. I trained myself never to blow my nose in like public. And I also don't ever, because I never want to reapply my lipstick more than once a day. I only apply my lipstick once a day because I've trained myself how to eat food. I put this lipstick on at 8 a.m. I trained myself how to eat my food and drink so that it doesn't like disrupt. And I find blowing your nose just be like, it just destroys everything. So I like have taught myself. So I was sick and I was like, my dad's like, go blow your nose if you like are congested. I was like, no, I don't do that. He's like, what do you mean?
I mean, my nose, I have a nose that runs all the time. So I will like dab my nose all day long. But to full on, you mean like
blow your nose.
Make that noise. Again, something to do in private. Blowing nose, coughing, passing gas.
Yes.
Not that I ever do that, any of those. But if I were to, it belongs in private. Yes. So it's almost like, does she, doesn't she?
Yeah.
We don't know.
You got to keep it a mystery. I literally told a guy that I'm kind of dating the other day. He was like, talking about that. And I was like, we got to have some mystery.
Exactly.
Like, you don't need to know all. We know it happens.
Just, no.
But you don't have to like put it in the air.
And we certainly don't need to talk about it afterwards. Like that, no, I get that. All right. What's giving do you have any others? Sorry.
I feel like mine are all like common courtesies where you're just like, can you not? That I think are obvious, but maybe they're just not. But I'm just like coughing and blowing your nose to me, or it just should be like things you're taught.
Yes.
But I just think they're not.
I think it's just, again, like common decency. Most of mine fall in that bucket because my first one is like speakerphone in public.
Yes.
When people are talking on their phone in public as if the rest of us want to be a part of your private conversation. We absolutely don't. Like, can you actually not? I think it's really rude. And then I feel like I have to be quiet in public because I'm part of this conversation. Or even worse is an airplane, when they're boarding an airplane and they're just loudly talking on speakerphone, like we all want to be a part of this conference call.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, no thanks.
Or when you're like, have you ever been behind someone in the grocery store and they're like on the phone and like they're checking out and the person's like trying to like ask them questions, or like anywhere you're anywhere and the person in front of you is on the phone. I actually consciously will be like, I'm so sorry, I'm on the phone, like I'm being so rude to like the person that's like checking me out at the store, or like, because I'll be at Zara or whatever and like someone will call me and I'm like juggling between talking to them and them. I think it's so rude, and I always say to them, I'm like, I'm so sorry, like I have to take this call, but I'm like being rude to you right now. Like,
or you just tell the person on the phone, hold on, I'm checking out.
Because it's like so rude. And then the people behind you are like, can you hurry up? Like, I don't care that you're on the phone. You're checking out.
It's just common decency. Speaking of checking out, I also have an issue when people stand too close to me in line. And it's not like a COVID thing. It's just like can you not be breathing down my neck?
No. It's like personal space. This is my bubble. I thought we all learned that in like elementary.
Turn around and go, whoa, what are you doing there? And why are you stood this close to me? And like, fair enough if you're in a packed elevator.
Yeah.
All right, we don't like it. We're all a bit scared that this elevator is going to break down and we're going to be stuck this close. But like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, needs must.
Situational.
There. Anywhere else, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you actually doing right here in my shadow?
Can I help you?
I will like obnoxiously do the like, I just don't like people in my personal space behind me. It is a trigger. I don't want to feel your breath on my neck. I don't want to feel you in my, it's giving me the heat just actually thinking about it. So that's giving disrespect. And then the other thing, the last thing I have written down here is Meghan Markle.
Oh, we talk about this. We'll send each other like TikToks back and forth. Because I actually asked Beth, I was like, from your perspective, how do you feel about Meghan Markle being part of like the English culture?
My issue with Meghan Markle started when I thought she was really breathy in Suits.
Yeah.
As an actress, I just felt everything was like, oh, Mike. And I didn't like her as an actress even before any of this happened. But, good for Harry. Loved Harry. He's always been a bit of a wild, bit of a loose cannon. So I was like, okay, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, how could she be a princess? Like, I wasn't die hard over her when they got married, but I was like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I don't know him.
Yeah.
But my issue of like giving disrespect is she left the royal family. They moved to the United States for privacy. Okay. Like, again, have my own opinions on that, but whatever. when you say that you want privacy and then you do an Oprah interview, say in the Oprah interview that you feel like you lost your name and your identity, you just want privacy, then you do a cooking show in your supposed kitchen, which is then we find out isn't your kitchen.
Yeah.
And you then school Mindy
about Sussex
when she says like Meghan Markle gets Taco Bell, and she's like, it's so funny that you keep calling me Meghan Markle, you know I'm a Sussex now, and like there's just something so good about a name. First off, you're not a Sussex because you're not a royal anymore. So your last name is actually Windsor, and you were banging on a year ago about how you felt like you lost your identity. So I just feel like everything about her feels a little disrespectful. And you know, listen, whatever you feel about the royal family, there's centuries of history there. And I feel like she's giving disrespect. 100%. That's my issue there. It's like you're giving disrespect I'm sure there's a lot of bad that happened and I don't want to hide that. But they are a respected, like the royal family does a lot of good.
Yeah.
And I just find her behavior towards it quite disrespectful.
I think about her a lot because I'm a big royal family advocate.
Yeah.
I love the royal family. And everyone that grows up watching and like understanding the royal family knows that they have like rules. They're like the most famous people in the world. Like if you were to Google like top 10 most famous people, like the royal family will be up there. And we all knew, like I even remember reading like they could have certain nail polish when I was younger.
Yeah,
and
it's not.
It's common knowledge. So it's like Meghan Markle, when you went on a date with him, you knew what you were getting into.
I know. I mean, it's just like, listen, do I think there's a dark part inside of the royal family? Sure.
Of course.
Sure. I don't think that they're perfect, but it's a huge part of the upbringing and the good that they do. I'm sure they've done a lot of bad too. I'm not saying that, like, don't come at me. I'm not saying that, like, they're perfect here. But I feel how she has handled it has been very disrespectful.
Totally.
And she contradicts herself consistently. So I'm sat here when people are like, oh, you know, why can't people just leave her alone? It's like, why can't she leave me alone?
I know.
Why is Netflix trying to shove her down my throat? I actually find that to be a bit disrespectful.
See, and that's like
go away, go be private, go live your life.
That is totally a pet peeve of mine because it's like anyone, especially in the day and age we live in now, it's like with all these influencers and they're like, why are you coming at me with your opinion? I'm like, then don't put it out there.
Yes.
If you don't want people to come for you in the comment section, then
that's the thing.
Be out there.
And I'm sure people listening will be like, oh no, you're wrong here. Fine. I love that opinion. In fact, Brad and I did like a podcast on marriage a couple of weeks ago, and someone wrote this like really long comment on our thing that was like, marriage is the most stupid idea, and like, you know, oh, red flags, that makes sense. You guys got divorced in marriage. Like, why are people trying so hard to make their marriage work and stuff? It was like this whole long thing, rampage on like, we were red flags and also marriage is stupid. And I just responded and I said, I love that opinion for you and I love mine for me.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. And if you think differently, that's fine. I find her to be very disrespectful. That's it.
Well, and I also just like, she's very unlikable. In my opinion.
Who is her PR team?
Exactly. It's like everything she does, like even in that edit of Netflix, I'm like, why are you putting this like Sussex comment in there? It doesn't make you relatable.
Like maybe that was the most relatable content they had.
Yeah.
But if someone is telling me that they want privacy, and then they go on to behave I just don't get it. So no. I feel like I can make fun of the fact that you're trying to teach me how to make ice because you put it out there.
Yeah.
And I find you to be
intolerable.
A nightmare.
Yeah.
An absolute nightmare. So, wow, this just feels so good.
Yes. For sure.
Really good to get this out. Current events for Kenna. I just love this for
Part
us.
2.
Here we go. Okay, next section. Maybe it's just me, but like, what are some things that bother you that you're like, this is just probably just me? What are they?
We live in such a unique place, but we were just talking about this. Girls typically like are really attracted to guys with nice cars. And I actually have the opposite effect. I don't want like a beater. Like I don't want you to roll up in like a lemon.
Yeah,
but if you pull up in like some souped up like Corvette, I'm not impressed.
I'm just like playing Shania Twain in my head. That don't impress me much for Kenna. She's like, really?
I'm like, yeah, I'm good with my Toyota.
I mean, like, we have company cars. Yeah. We like, so let me tell you.
Like, if a guy has like a sleek, nice, like BMW or something, like that's different. But when it's like a try-hard car, like they like purposely purchase this to like think that they're going to be more appealing or like more attractive with like a red Corvette.
Oh,
it's just not, it does, like I said, the opposite of what I thought it would. I actually would make out with this guy in high school that drove a Mustang. And to this day.
Not the Mustang.
To this day, every time I see a Mustang, I like gag.
Oh, because
I'm like,
was he a bad kisser?
Terrible. And I just like joke. I'm always like, there's a Mustang. And I'm like, ew. But yeah, cars, just when guys think their car is like their whole identity, it's just not for me. I
just really love a clean car.
Yeah.
I just need it to be clean.
Yeah. Pick me up in your really cute Honda Civic with like a fresh air freshener. Like, I'm good. I won't even think twice.
But you know what? I do think that is unique.
Yeah.
I do think that is probably just you. Not just you, but I understand what you're saying and I agree with it. I would so much rather be pleasantly surprised by a modest car that's clean and then hear that the guy is really smart with money.
Yes.
Or not, or just in general, like he's frugal, whatever it is. I would take that any day over the guy who's got a tricked out car, but then has like 8 roommates, is living on the floor but their car has become their identity.
Exactly.
They want you to think that they're something that they're not. So maybe that's what it is.
They're overcompensating for something, and you can see kind of through it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the car when you like sleep in a twin bed?
Oh no. that would be tragic. Yeah. I get that. I can see that.
Yeah. So I think that one's like, maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's just me, but like, I hate Cybertrucks. Like, I never liked them. And I'm not saying that everyone who drives a Cybertruck is a douche.
No.
But everyone that I know that is an actual douche canoe drives a Cybertruck. Like, when I'm like, that guy is an actual douche, and then I see, I was like, oh, I already know what car you're driving. I already know.
It just makes sense.
It's that nasty silver gold colored Cybertruck, or like a matte black Cybertruck. You look like a garbage can on wheels.
Yes, it's terrible.
It looks like a joke. It looks like a scene from Back to the Future when they like predicted the future, and you're like, oh, that's funny. It would never look like that. That's what they look like.
It does. It looks like it. Do you think that's what he was going for? Like, is for people to look and be like, that's a Cybertruck? Because they're distracting. That's how ugly they are.
I just think that they're just so ugly. I just don't get the appeal. And I know people love them. That's fine. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's just me. But I see one and all I think about is a dumpster on wheels.
Or giant toenail clippers. I always think
now
of like,
I will because
I always think of giant toenail clippers. I'm like, that is toenail clippers with wheels.
It just gives like douche canoe energy for me.
And it just gives like, I feel like people just want to be like, I drive a Cybertruck. Like, it's a brand for them.
It just becomes a personal identity, and I just don't. I guess that's the thing. Like, when cars become your identity, like, just have a good car that works and clean. Just please keep it clean.
Yeah, just from point A to point B.
Want.
Yeah, that's all we're asking.
Just want a clean car. Okay. Also, maybe it's just me, but like, I really hate when people finish my sentences, and not just like, oh, like one time. There are some people that I have come into contact with and it's all they do. And it gets to the point where I just look at them and in my head, I think, this is the last time I will ever converse with you. Like, I know I will never open my mouth around you again. Yes. It bothers me that bad.
You're like, that's it. Is it like when you're telling like a full-on story or just like anything?
Like, tell me about your day.
Like me?
Yeah, just tell me tell me something about your day.
I had a meeting at, I don't even know what
a practice.
Yes.
No.
I ate like a salad for lunch.
Keep going.
Okay.
I'm like, I can't do it, but like they just keep going. I would literally,
and then I went and got a drink.
You got a drink.
Yeah.
You got a drink. Okay.
You got a Diet Coke.
You got a Diet Coke.
Yes.
Or I'd be like, I just really feel you're really annoyed by this. Like, be like, oh, I just find you're so annoying. Yeah, it's so annoying. Okay. Like, can you actually not? Like, it's just like, oh, okay. And then I was telling one of my friends about this, and they said it's one of their pet peeves too. And so they purposely end the sentence with something that they would never say just to catch them. It becomes I'm like, well, that's a lot of mental like maturity. Work. Because for me, I will just do that silent and look at them and just be like, oh, I don't need to keep talking. I didn't know you knew everything.
Yeah, no, literally. And you're just like, that happens. Or when they say the wrong thing and you're like, no, that's not what I was going to say.
It's just all around.
Yeah.
The worst habit.
And you're just kind of look at them, especially if you don't know them. You're like, why are you finishing my sentence? I think maybe I'm more conscientious to this because my dad would actually get like really upset when we do that. He'd be like, I'm not finishing my story. And I'd be like, okay.
I'm with him. Like, absolutely, you just shut me down. I don't care if I was going to tell you the best story ever. You'll never know.
Oh, no,
I guess totally. We'll never know how the story ends. Apparently, you already know.
Yeah. And then you're like, okay, we're good.
Sometimes I'll be telling a story and Brad will actually talk over me and finish the story or like start getting involved in the story. And I have just, it actually is a big pet peeve of mine. Like, it's a Clifford family thing. Like, they all do it to each other. And it's gotten to the point now where I'll just be quiet and he's like, finish your story. And I'm like, no, you took over. You finish it. It is just, I hate it.
You just hijacked my story. So I'm just like, take it off.
Sorry,
take
it
from
saying,
here.
Apparently, you cut me off. I'm like, I'll just sit here and passive aggressively pout, I guess.
My 5-year-old niece the other day in the car goes, my dad interrupted her mid-sentence. She was telling me a school story.
Yeah.
She's like, never mind. My dad's like, no, tell us. She's like, I don't want to. My dad's like, no, tell us the story. She's like, well, you interrupt me. And my dad's like, oh. I'm like, even my 5-year-old niece is like, I'm not having this. Like, I'm trying to tell you my playground story. You keep interrupting me and it's really rude.
Exactly. I've noticed that with my kids now that they'll turn to each other. Buzzy will be like, Pen, I am not finished. You just interrupted me. And she does get interrupted the most because she bangs on too long with her story. And so then everyone cuts her off and she's like, I'm like, okay, but you also need to land the plane.
Land the plane.
So, all right. Well, this is just, do you feel better?
Oh, I feel so much better. I love just like getting it out there.
Getting it out. I mean, I highly recommend this. What are we at time-wise? Oh, good. I have like a surprise one. Okay, what is one thing, bonus question, that should bother us that doesn't?
We were thinking about this. Okay, I'm a new homeowner, and it's so funny when you like grow up, and I remember like walking past the garbage cans that like my dad would take the garbage out, and then after school I'd like come up and he'd like not like we wouldn't take him up, and then he'd be like, Kenna, did you just like walk past the garbage cans? And I'd be like, well, yeah. And he'd be like, well, why don't you bring them up? But I'm really weird now, and I'm like really particular about things. And the things that should bother me, like I like to clean. I like to like make sure I'm in control of things. So I'm like, I'll take it down, I'll put it up. And I think like Morgan is like, she's a freak because like I'll make sure everything's done. And I feel like I should be bothered by like little things like the trash not being taken out, or I don't even know. I think maybe it's because I bought it that I'm like particular about it. But I'm just like finding myself the older I'm getting to be like more of just like I'd rather do it like random weird chores than have someone do them for me.
So maybe you're saying that like maybe it should bother you that you're left to do everything, but it actually doesn't bother you.
Yes,
you actually
not at all. And I think it's maybe because it's a control thing. Like I'm like,
just wait till you have children.
My mom literally said the same thing. I was like, I love cleaning out the microwave because I can do it completely right. And it's mine and I bought it and I want to take care of it. And I'm like, why am I such a weirdo? But I think it's just the phase of life I'm in.
This is like about the video's going to stop in like a second and I have to restart it. So like, it's fine, but keep going. I actually get that. I used to be that way until I had children. And then there was just so many things I had to do.
Yeah.
then that would bother me.
You gotta like release control, because one day you're not gonna have any control, and you're gonna be like, you know what? There's too many like things going on, and I can't keep my hand on everything. But for right now, I'm like, wow, I've just turned into like this weird grandma.
No, it's fine. I think in this stage of life you're in, just like enjoy that. Yeah, honestly, like it will change, because the control is just hard to give up because it's not done right.
Yeah.
So you just have to watch it. You can't like. That's my issue, is that I complain that no one helps me, but then when they help me, I'm like, well, you didn't do it right. So, you just have to like relinquish is the word I'm looking for, that control, but it sucks. So I would enjoy it. If it doesn't bother you now, like, I mean, amazing.
I know. And I'm like, am I like a little maid now? But I kind of like it. I'm like, I keep my things the way I want it to. And like, same thing with work. But I think it comes just with the age. Like the older you go, like being more independent, I think the more you like get stuck in your ways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I know. I'm very particular. I know how I like my things now.
Amazing. Well, there you go. One thing that I think should bother me that doesn't is someone with a temper. Like, I mean, hold on. Granted, like, no one that's abusive.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. Give me, like, we're keeping it lighthearted here. But I think society, like, tries to tell us that, like, we should control our emotions, and I agree with that. But I love being around people that have a bit of a temper. I find it very entertaining.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean...
Like, what part of it is entertaining? Just the unpredictability?
No. I don't like that unpredictability. I just love seeing other people losing their temper on someone. I don't know why. I think it should bother me. It doesn't bother me. And I'm always just like, man, that was funny.
If it's not towards you.
Sometimes even if it's towards me. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's my toxic trait. Like, that's my toxic trait, is that, again, obviously not if I have a temper like too, but if I'm watching someone, they get really upset with me, and I have to try really, really hard not to laugh. So you can imagine how much my mum loved me when I was a teenager, because she would be like screaming and I would be trying really hard not to laugh. Because I'm like, that temper. And I think it's because I grew up in a home where my dad never raised his voice. I never heard a male yell. So my mum did a lot, but it was entertaining because I also found her to be harmless. Like, it was like no threat was ever kept, like nothing. And so I never saw my dad lose control ever. And so when I would see people lose control, I found it funny.
You were like, wait, what the heck? What's wrong with you?
Like, when I would see like siblings fight, or like Brad's family fight, I like have to try really hard not to laugh. And I know, again, I think it is just me. I should not find tempers entertaining, but I find them really entertaining.
That's really interesting.
I don't know why. Now, granted, sometimes when it's towards me and I'm like, no, that's out of line.
Yeah.
The humor goes away really quickly.
Yes.
And I have a temper. So I'm always like if I'm angry, if I get really, really angry though, I don't yell. And Brad's always like, the scariest is when Beth gets so calm. Like, it's like when I'm livid, like smoke coming out of my ears, head turning around Chucky. I will be so calm and then just annihilate, but extremely calm. And Brad's like, it's the scariest thing ever.
Oh, it's way scarier when you hold your composure.
It's almost like I'm so mad that now I'm plotting murders in my head and you won't even see it coming. But when I kind of lose control, like, I think it's because you do just lose control in that moment. Like, you have a temper, you've lost control a bit. And like afterwards, I normally just find it funny. Like, even for myself, I'm like, yeah. And like the other night, the kids' rooms, they told me they'd cleaned up. I went up there. It honestly looked like a traveling circus of like knickknacks.
Yeah.
I came undone. And they're like, okay. Like, they're like, we'll do it. We're running. Like, we got it. They're cleaning up. I was so mad. I'm like yelling, like unhinged. And I went downstairs and got into bed, and I told Brad, I'm like, man, that escalated quickly, didn't it? I'm like, Like
0 to 10.
Brad just starts laughing. I'm like, I lost it. Yep. Like I will find when I lose my temper funny. It's not a normal trait. I do not think it's a healthy trait. I don't know why. I'm just saying tempers should bother me and they don't. And they don't in others either. Like when other people lose their temper, I'm always just like, okay.
You're like, there we go.
Did you need to get that out?
Maybe I'm used to that. So I grew up in a family where it's like we scream at each other, then we go to lunch.
Yeah, okay.
And
that's like Brad's family.
Yeah. And my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law came into the family, and I think they're like, what in the world? Because we will like unleash on each other. Like,
yeah,
you suck. We'll be cussing at each other. My parents will be like, guys, calm down. And then it'll be like, well, what are you doing Tuesday?
I mean, my family's opposite. Maybe it's the English. Like we don't show our emotion. Yes. And so then when one of the siblings would get so angry and lose their mind, the rest of us would start laughing like at the person who like lost control, because it would just be like, wow. Like I think it just
like this bubbled over.
Yeah, we'd be like, wow. And then we'd be like, are you a bit embarrassed? And then we would like wind them up even more. Yes. Like it's so unhealthy and I'm not proud of it, but it's just who I am at 37 years old. Brad's family, the first time I like watching them, they would yell and scream and get in this big fight, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, Christmas is cancelled! Like, what is happening? These people are never going to speak to each other again." Like the first time I watched like a Clifford row, I did not find it funny. I was like petrified.
You're like, what did I just get myself into?
Like, what is going on here? Like, am I being punked? But then like 10 minutes later, they're all eating dessert, and it's almost like in their mind, they get it out, they address it, and they move on. So
that's how we are.
So now I actually find it highly entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
But I just grew up in a family that was not the person who lost control the most was our mum. And I think we all found it funny. Like we all were like, gosh, mum. Like,
you're like, what? She's at it again.
Oh my gosh. Like here's empty threats again. Like it was just like, I think, and I'm not proud of it. I can't wait for the rude comments to me on this, but I'm sorry guys. I just, again, not like an abusive temper, but just like when people lose their temper, I find it funny.
Like, do you like the Karen videos on
I love
TikTok?
Them.
Yeah, I like the Karen videos.
I'm always like, how embarrassing. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I laugh because I'm like, that's embarrassing. But you know what? If you were walking on ice and you slipped, I would run up to you and be like, do you need someone to laugh with you?
Sure.
Because I know you're embarrassed and maybe even hurt, but it's easier to just laugh it off. And I feel like that's how I feel about when people lose their temper, where I'm like, you're probably a little bit embarrassed now.
For sure.
Do you want someone to laugh with you on it?
Yes.
So you can like,
you were crazy.
Yeah, but like, okay, so can we laugh about this now? Like that's how I feel about it, because I feel like it is embarrassing, and I want to be the person to come to you and be like, should we laugh about this now?
No, I don't think that's it's funny. It's unique.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just a weirdo.
No, I love it.
Maybe it should bother me. It doesn't.
Yours is way better than mine. I can't think of it. I'm like, maybe I'm just so desensitized to the weird things.
You'll think of it after we're done and then be like, oh shoot, I should have said that.
Yes, that was a good.
I literally took notes because I have been thinking about these since we discussed doing this, like couple weeks ago. And I'm like, Ken, I've got another one.
We'll send like memes to each other that's like, this person's so annoying, blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, I felt like that 10 times today. So we just needed to get it out. You know what? This is all in good fun. Healthy.
Listen, if you got offended by something that we said, just know that I guarantee there's something that bothers you that I 100% do. And that is totally fine.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. And maybe even this podcast bothered you. And you're all right. You are allowed to find us a bit of a bother.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
No.
We just need to get out what has been bothering us.
Exactly. And stay bothered.
And if you are bothered by this, I'm going to send you an email that starts with, hope this email finds you well. Because, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Stay on theme.
I now can go back to being unbothered. I feel great.
Yeah. And then tomorrow we'll get bothered again.
All day long.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're
going to Vegas this week for work, and no doubt, many things will bother us in Vegas.
Oh,
traveling there, being there, leaving there. Like, we will be bothered.
Yes, always.
So, okay, well, thanks for coming back, Kenna.
Oh, always.
Where can they find you if you want them to find you?
You can find me on TikTok.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Find her on TikTok for behind the scenes of Kenna.
Yes. I'm super interesting.
She is. She is. She's private, but she's interesting.
Yes.
Well, thank you for listening this week. Hopefully you had a laugh and it didn't bother you. And if it did, I'm sorry. But we are who we are.
It's not our problem.
So, I mean, I can't change who I am. Sorry. But for more behind the scenes, please check out at the Beth Clifford on Instagram or TikTok. This is also on YouTube now if you want to watch the whole thing.
Oh.
We were just sat here like a couple of lemons in our sweats.
In our sweatsuits.
On the sofa. But I'll be back next week with a new episode. Thanks again for coming on, Kenna.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Okay. And we'll see you then.
Good night.
Good night.